desert. John Mills getting very drunk. Two famous beer commercials, and a very strange title. They're all linked to the best British war film never fully released in North America. Hi and welcome. I started this channel to showcase great classic movies, mainly with a British connection. And this movie is a main reason why. Ice Cold and Alex is a classic in Britain. It rates a hefty 7.8 from fans on IMDb, but it's almost totally unknown on this side of the Atlantic. So let's try to fix that. We'll take a quick look at the film, the strange title, and why it is never shown here, and how you can finally enjoy it now. Alex is set in North Africa during World War II, when the British 8th Army fought Rommel's Afrika Korps. But there are no big battles or secret missions in this film. Instead, it's a simple story of human survival and endurance in a desert hell. And much of the story was inspired by real events. Alex was released in 1958 and was based on a book by Christopher Landon. He was an officer in the Medical Corps. During a German advance, a large unit of British ambulances retreats to avoid capture. In the chaos, one ambulance gets isolated and can't use the made road when a bridge is destroyed. Instead, the only way out is a staggering 600-mile journey across the desert to British positions and safety. The ambulance called Katie carries 5 people, 2 female nurses, an exhausted officer and his sergeant, plus a tough South African soldier picked up at a fuel dump. It's these characters that form the heart of the story, how they interact, deal with the strains of war and the harsh challenges of the journey. Not all will survive, and one carries a dark secret. In the lead role of Captain Anson, John Mills is tremendous, playing a very believable character, strained by war and a stint as a POW. He's a good man, but he often loses his temper, and he drinks too much to steady his nerves. Then there's Harry Andrews as Pew. He's a steadfast soldier and mechanic, and he works hard to keep both the ambulance and his exhausted captain moving forward. Anthony Quayle is the South African who talks his way onto the ambulance. He's a bit mysterious, but he becomes a lifesaver as the group work their way through German patrols and natural challenges. Quayle spent a lot of time in the desert. He also co-starred in Lawrence of Arabia and Masada. Sylvia Sims and Diana Clare are the 2 nurses seeking to escape. Sims's character Diana ultimately has a passionate romantic with Captain Anson, but the scene was later reshot to satisfy censors. By the way, in the British system, Sims's character is called Sister because she is a senior nurse, but she is not a nun. Once the party is assembled, the film becomes a series of tense set pieces based on the long journey. The group must deal with heat, minefields, deadly pits, towering sand dunes, and evading the enemy. It takes stamina, guts, and ingenuity to survive, and each challenge places new strains on the characters, but it also pulls them closer together. When you watch Alex, you'll see that it must have been a very tough shoot. Director J. Lee Thompson served as a tail gunner in the RAF, and he insisted on the wartime setting looking gritty and real. Later, his physical style produced a major hit when he took over directing The Guns of Navarone, again with Anthony Quayle. Filming Alex, Sylvia Sims said she didn't need to study method acting to look hot and exhausted. The film was shot on location in Libya for almost 2 months in scorching temperatures over 90 degrees. One other thing that stands out about Alex, and that's its humanity. Despite their differences, everyone in the party starts to pull together. The comradeship is so moving that this British war story actually won outstanding film honors at the 1958 Berlin Film Festival. Coming across a strange title, I was intrigued by this movie for years before I finally bought a copy in England and saw it. So what does it mean? Quite simply, Alex is the port of Alexandria, the party's main goal for safety. And during the long days in the broiling sun, poor Captain Anson keeps telling the others that if they make it, he'll take them all to his favorite bar in Alex for an ice-cold lager. There is a famous bar scene in the movie, but do they actually make it there? Or is it just a daydream? I hate spoilers, so you'll have to see the movie yourself to find out. Filming the scene caused a surprising challenge that John Mills later discussed in interviews. For realism, Mills had to down a real beer. He didn't mind that at all, until it came to the retakes.
So they set them all up on the bar, and take one, bang, down in one, right, cut, print, right, one for safety, bang, down it went. And then things started to go wrong. Somebody missed a mark, the lights failed, camera jammed, and by take 14, I was totally plastered.
One more bit of beer trivia. In the original story, the party drank Rheingold, but as that American brew sounded too German, the movie features Danish Carlsberg instead. The scene was so memorable, it was used in 2 sets of Carlsberg ads in the United Kingdom. Finally, why is Alex a lost classic in North America? The fault lies with the US distributors. They didn't think that people here wanted a war movie that was long on drama but short on combat. As a result, they cut out a full third of the movie, about 45 minutes, making it a mess, and changed the title to Desert Attack and put it into limited release. So Ice Cold and Alex was never screened properly in America or released here on DVD, though you can finally see it now streaming on Amazon Prime, or you can buy a British DVD if you have a multi-region player. Stop! Alex belongs to a very small but engaging film genre, the amazing truck versus nature films. There are 2 other famous movies with this theme. The first being the French classic Wages of Fear from 1953. Ranked about 200 in IMDb's top movies of all time, and starring Yves Montand, it follows 4 very desperate men driving dicey explosives through a jungle in a desperate bid for a better life. The other film is Sorcerer, a color remake of Wages of Fear, starring Roy Scheider and featuring a great music track by Tangerine Dream. It's an amazing visual and dramatic film with a famous truck on flooded bridge sequence, but it was released at the same time as the original Star Wars and died at the box office. As well, its title also hurt Sorcerer. Filmgoers expected a fantasy film with that name, but got 4 doomed men in the jungle instead. At the time, the failure hurt director William Friedkin's career. But Sorcerer has found a new audience since then, and it is well worth watching on the biggest screen you can find. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you had some fun with that. Hope you get a chance to see Ice Cold and Alex and some of the other movies we discussed today. And if you do, please comment and join the discussion. And I also invite you to subscribe. It really helps the channel. And I hope to see you again back at Waltz Flicks Picks.